physical fitness. Like, it doesn't necessarily need to be the gym. Man, like, sometimes I'll just drop down and start doing burpees, and like I'll just do burpees until like I can't no more, because like that, you know what I mean, that releases the dopamine, that changes my state. Okay, so in this video I want to talk about managing stress and building resilience, or as somebody that I was in the pen with like to call it, mental dexterity. Like, you need to be resilient, and you need to have, you know what I mean, systems in which you manage your stress. Like, my two biggest stress managers are meditation and the gym. Like, working out, man, like, it doesn't matter what kind, you know what I mean, how much stress I'm under, what kind of mood I'm in. I know if I get myself to the gym, I'm good. And then same thing with, you know what I mean, if I'm really stressing about something, and like, it doesn't even need to necessarily be a negative stress. Like, I have a lot of what I would call positive stressors in my life, like things that I have chosen to be there. You know what I mean? So like, they're not necessarily like a negative stress. They're just like, they're a positive stressor in my life, something that I chose to be there. It's out of intention, something that I personally instituted, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't still cause stress. You know what I mean? Mental stress. So, you know what I mean? How I build up that resiliency is by managing my stress. And you need to have systems in which, you know what I mean, you do that. So meditation, like, profound when it comes to managing stress. Like, you know what I mean? I like to meditate. I do two different forms of meditation. Like, I do a stillness meditation where, you know what I mean, like, I'm not attaching to any thoughts or anything like that. I try and stay still for the duration of the meditation, and I just kind of focus on my breath. And like, thoughts are going to come in, but you just don't attach to them. Like, you don't go down any rabbit holes of thoughts. Is, you know what I mean, basically a quick summary of meditation, at least to my understanding and my personal practice of it. But like, meditation is one of the biggest stress management systems that I have, and that helps me to be more resilient in the face of stress. Now, like, what it does is it takes you from parasympathetic to a sympathetic state, or maybe it's reversal. Don't quote me on that. Feel free to Google it. Like, and feel free to, you know what I mean, fact check anything that I say. Like, I'm just sharing my opinions and my systems with you. Like, this, you know what I mean, this doesn't need to be your stone cold truth. This is me sharing with you what it is that I do and what I believe, what my systems are and what I institute. And when it comes to managing my stress and building on that resiliency, like I said, my two biggest players in that realm are the gym, physical fitness. Like, it doesn't necessarily need to be the gym. Man, like, sometimes I'll just drop down and start doing burpees, and like, I'll just do burpees until like I can't no more, because like that, you know what I mean, that releases the dopamine, that changes my state, and that allows me to, you know what I mean, maybe institute a little bit of a level of aggression in that movement, so that I don't have to take it out on others. So that's a good way to manage your stress. It doesn't have, like, you know what I mean, I don't want people to think like, oh, you have to go to the gym and that's how you manage your stress. It's fitness. It's movement. But like, you know what I mean, obviously going to the gym, pushing the weights around, like, that's the best form. But it's fitness. And then meditation. So like, I do two forms of meditation. I do the visualization meditations in the morning, where, like, you know what I mean, I really kind of fixate on, you know what I mean, on my goals, and I place myself already in the attainment of that goal, and I allow myself to feel the feelings of them. I did a video on visualizations. You can feel free to go watch that. But then I also do a stillness meditation, and I do that at night, because like, I'll do a little bit of breath work. Some breathing techniques. There's a variety of breathing techniques. I predominantly just do 3 rounds of Wim Hof breathing, so you can always go and check that out. I believe I also have a video on YouTube. You can go search my channel, Wim Hof breathing, and like, I walk through, you know what I mean, the full process of Wim Hof. But I do a little bit of breath work just to kind of change my state, and then I go into a stillness meditation. And I can tell you, like, there's times where, you know what I mean, maybe I only meditate for 5 minutes, or maybe I meditate for 10 minutes. There's been times where I've meditated for a full hour. I don't believe I've ever really done more than an hour, but, you know what I mean, there has been a few times where like, I got into a real place of transcendence, and like, I literally just, you know what I mean, literally didn't have any sense of time. And like, I came out and realized that like, I had been in meditation for an hour. But for the most part, you know what I mean, like, it's 5 minutes, it's 10 minutes, it's 15 minutes, it's 20 minutes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I try and keep myself still for as long as I can, but like, if it gets to the point where like, you know what I mean, I'm just freaking out, like, I don't push it. You know what I mean? And it really doesn't take long to get the benefits in which that we're discussing, you know what I mean, in this video when it comes to the stress management and building that resiliency to stress. You know what I mean? You could literally meditate for 5 minutes and it will change your state. Like it literally will. Like your stress levels will go right down. It could even be 2 or 3 minutes of conscious, still meditation where you're not attaching to thoughts. You're just following your breath. Sometimes it's good to, you know what I mean, and count. Like, so every time you take a breath in and a breath out, count 1. And then you count 10. Or if you ever lose count, which like, you know what I mean, rightly you should, because you're, you know what I mean, like if you're getting into that state, you will, you know what I mean, you will lose track of where you're at. But you just go back to 1. You don't attach to it. It's really just about being still, being calm, and not attaching to the thoughts that come into your head. Thoughts are going to continue to come into your head. Like your analytical mind is rarely just going to shut itself down. Like that doesn't happen. But it's about consciously not attaching to the thoughts. And like that's what really brings your stress levels down. And then over time, you know what I mean, you build a resiliency to stress by instituting these practices. You know what I mean? Like if I find myself getting way too bent out of a shape, something didn't go my way, you know what I mean? Business deal went bad, whatever. I'll go hit the gym or I'll meditate. Honestly, and it doesn't even need to take long. Like some people seem to think, because the guys that are on steroids and stuff, that you need to be in the gym for like 2.5 hours. I literally work out for about 2.5 hours a week. I weight train 3 times a week for about 45 minutes. Like it really doesn't need to take long. And I find, you know what I mean, like that has residual effects. Like, you know what I mean? It creates a resiliency in me and allows me to manage my stress on an ongoing basis. But, you know what I mean? Definitely go, you know what I mean? Drop down, do some push-ups, go, you know what I mean? Go do a little ab circuit, run on the treadmill for a bit. Like, do whatever. Get your body in motion, get in movement. And it will bring your stress levels down. So, like, you can have that more reactive approach, you know what I mean? Or responsive approach, like if you're dealing with something stressful, you know what I mean? Go get some movement in, or go, you know what I mean? Go find somewhere to meditate. Like it doesn't even necessarily need to be the most silent place. Like I've meditated on a bus before. Like, you know what I mean? Especially like if you use binaural beats, oh man. Like find, you know what I mean? Find a good frequency, like 5 to 10 hertz is kind of a great place to, a great frequency for meditation. Gets you kind of into that deep sympathetic state or parasympathetic state. I'm gonna have to Google that because like I don't want to be misquoting it, but it's, you know what I mean? You're moving from one state to another, and it's from a parasympathetic state to a sympathetic state. I can't remember which one is the more positive, but they both play, you know what I mean, play a good role. Like if you need to be, you know what I mean, you need to be in action, you need to be reacting, like then you need to be in one state. But if you're looking to be calm and be more centered, you know what I mean, then you want to be in the other. But yeah, those are, you know what I mean, those are my stress management, like both of my stress management tips. There's definitely other good ones, you know what I mean, like, but those are my 2. Those are my foundational pieces anyways. So you definitely want to try and institute those and relative to, you know what I mean, to your practice. Like if you prefer to be in the gym for 2 hours, then all the power to you if you got the time. If you know what I mean, if you can meditate for hours on end, then all the power to you if you have the time and the ability to do so. But it can also be done in, you know what I mean, in way smaller time increments. It doesn't have to be that big of a time expenditure. So if you're dealing with stress, you know what I mean, especially in the moments, then get yourself movement, you know what I mean? Go and do some resistance training, go run on the treadmill, whatever, or go and meditate. Whichever one is more parallel with what's available to you in the moment. But those are, you know what I mean, definitely my foundations when it comes to stress management, and then those play into building up that resiliency to stress. Now let's grow together.